going to have to step up and be there and be focused and locked in from start to finish of this series because they need it. Like, no team is you know, every team is capable of beating this complexity line.
And even in some of the losses they had, Legion was still putting in great performances here at the major, so that's not even necessarily enough a lot of the time. We're still going to have to see some of the supporting cast turn up.
Counter-Strike's evolved to a point where, like, you can no longer rely on not just one player, but even just two players. So, as I mentioned, Grim and Elimination are both having really good opening stages, but you need more than that. And you might be able to scrape by through stretches against Cloud9, but, you know, you need to have that third guy, whether it's, you know, you'd look towards Halzerk with the AWP, who's really struggled to have the same level of impact. Good opening Gush on a Boomish. He's going to be forced back. The utility being chucked out by Grim, activating the ramp play. Trades coming out. Oh, the dualies in middle. Icy trying to control it, can only get the one, and we descend into a 3-on-3 as Complexity back away from mid, but Heavy God is on a little bit of a hunt. Yeah, we find ourselves here quite quickly at the even number situation. Still a lot of time left on the clock. Unfortunately for Floppy, he's taking damage on board, so down to 20 HP. Heavy God locking out middle, making sure that that isn't a position the Complexity can move through, so they're going to stay committed to the ramp. Yeah, but the defense is, where's he going to shift now that he's cleared out mid? Does he want to rotate away? Because it's only going to be Boomich with that low HP, took that Gush early on in the round. He's going to be playing over a headshot. He can't really mount any resistance. He's just going to be listening for information and trying to call things out early for his teammates to come on over. And there's the indication of where this finishes. Smoke being deployed. No movement yet for the defense. Good shot. That's Floppy going down. And Halzerk and Grim to clutch a 2v3. Tap onto the middle of the site. Halzerk continuing to move forward. He sees the shadow, knows his next target is Heavy God, but the swing comes in from Boomich to protect his teammates. So it's all on Grim, and he's got one already. Low HP on Boomich, remember. And so Grim slips behind the smoke. It's a great reposition here for Grim, and it's going to work out for the kill on intro. Suddenly, Boomich, but Boomich from headshot can celebrate a clutch as he wins the 1v1 against Grim for the pistol round victory on Cloud9's side. Oh, did not expect the headshot angle whatsoever. Just overexposed, trying to get back towards Gap, and taken down by Big Boom. He took that Gush early on, but delivers 3 kills with low HP. Lovely little pistol round from Boomich. And it just falls short for Complexity. Oh, really nice attempt here from Grim. Getting out through that smoke. Repositioning towards elevator was a perfect play, but just not ready for Boomich to be up on headshot. And great composure for Boomich to stand up there and wait for that reswing. Complexity going to go for a force buy though. AK out on Grim. Galil here for Halzerk. Galil's, Scout for Halzerk. Galil's out on Floppy and Elish. So a strong force buy back here from Complexity. Let's see what they can do with it. Cloud9 not giving him anything early. No peeks for that Scout to tag anybody up. Grim's going to start clearing out mid with his AK. First point of contact will be over towards elevator if they turn the corner. That's Icy to defend with the M4. He looks away, but he gets back at the right moment. And Grim gets dropped. And to play from a 4v5. Complexity not going to be happy about the start of losing their AK-47. Their best weapon down already. Halzerk starts to clear towards headshot with a Scout, towards CT. And then she might get a chance here on Axel, who moves into the middle of the site and swings. The FAMAS doing a little bit more damage, but not bringing down a further player. Just the big play from Floppy, something he's been doing for years. As he pressures into mid, but unable to get the kill back. So Complexity on multiple chances, unable to even these numbers out, so they go into the attack with a deficit. Elimination at least getting something here for Complexity, but it's not going to be enough to feel competitive. And Axel's just waiting for Floppy to run up that ramp. Great positioning. Takes the kill on a bomb plant out of all of that. Doesn't actually seem like the worst for Complexity. It looked like it was going to be just a shutdown completely, but some extra cash picked up, but a 2-0 lead for Cloud9. Yeah, Cloud9's going to be super pleased with that. Playing it very passive, far back, able to recover an AK-47 and not losing a whole lot of players. So Complexity with that plant, they might be able to force up a buy if they want to, but I don't think they got the kills required to really make it all that smart of a decision. Maybe a half investment coming in. But Complexity not able to find any trades as they move into the bomb site. And just getting whittled down as they go. 2-0. Just the techs out here for Complexity. In a world and a scene where we see the top teams elect not to play Vertigo and it can be the least picked map out of all the maps in the pool, Complexity
pick it in the majority of their series.
Well, I thought about this coming into it because we saw on the different RMRs, it was one of the least played maps in the European RMRs, and it was one of the most played maps in the Americas RMR. So obviously the Americans, or the Americas side of things, much more enjoying this map, much more willing to play it, but I still feel like the Europeans are probably going to be better on it.
There's a charge right towards Heavy God. The initial line of defense is finally broken for us. JT's P250 breaks it for just a second. Enters to patch it up nicely. For Grim, nearly catching Axel as he goes towards CT. Enters the frag out from default. Keeping it somewhat clean, but Complexity still fighting back. Grim's Tech 9 can now be upgraded to a weapon that's lying on the floor, and Inter's already taken damage.
If they're to win this round, it's going to be on Grim. Oh, Halsark about to be cleared out, low HP. Grim couldn't make his play before that happened. Bomb dropped in the site. This wraparound could have been dangerous, but probably not very much anymore. Icy back in quad, Boomich playing at the white boxes, and Grim goes down nice and easy. Icy with a good start to this game.
Yeah, the one shining light from the Amcal days. Been really impressed with his performances. I think he was sort of a diamond in the rough, and he was pretty rough himself. When it comes to his play style, I think he was maybe a little bit too aggressive at times, made a lot of mistakes, a lot of repeats, but you can see him maturing as a player inside of this Cloud9 team already, and even in their loss yesterday, he had an incredible performance. So yeah, I think they found a really nice AWP replacement for the gap that Shiro left behind.
The experience of Boomich and Groove as a coach probably going to help him develop as an AWPer. Boomich has had some things to say about him, how talented he is. Still a very quiet player, a little bit shy to speak up and be emotionally involved in getting the team in the right place. And he's leaned towards Heavy God to be kind of that second strong voice within the squad to call things out. Well, you have the three quiet players of Inters, Axile, and Icy. Good shot from Elige, opens things up, but dinked up. He'll have to play passively from now on. Nades come in and bring him even lower. But he's got them a 5-on-4.
Feels like Complexity have got to start winning these rounds soon on their map pick, so converting a 5v4 here is essential. 55 seconds left. Stay paused. The majority of the force is still at the bottom of the A ramp.
Grim hears that information as well. He can pass that timing over to JT. They just flash cleared. He heard the footsteps as well. And Boomich going to shift over to the A-bomb site. So a little bit of utility being chucked out by Axile to delay things. Sandbags Molotov to make sure nobody has taken up the position that Elige cleared earlier. But Complexity still not convinced they want this to be their final play. Going to back off. 28 seconds on the clock. Ooh, this is going to come down to it. You got to walk all the way back and be quiet. And Heavy God's aggressive at the stairs.
Heavy God lies in wait, winds them up, and they're all gone. A blink of an eye, and the Heavy God hammer comes crashing down in Complexity. A 4-0 lead here for Cloud9. Complexity don't really even get involved in that round.
I'm not super in love with that decision to fall back. It makes sense if you have someone at the B stairs holding on to that position, but with that much time left on the clock, only 20 seconds as you start making your move and you have no information of what's happened there for quite some time, that's a big gamble, and obviously it doesn't pay off. Completely shut down by a nice spray from Heavy God. They all line up for him. Opening kill and Complexity. They don't apply pressure anywhere else on the map throughout the entirety of this 5-on-4. And Cloud9 comfortably handle the business.
At least you can go back to rifles. This start is going to sting. JT to grab the opening kill this time. Another 5v4 for Complexity early on. And JT takes no damage in that first fight. A difference from what Elige was able to get in the last round.
It's an odd smoke.
They gotta continue to push up.
I think that's unintended.
Yeah.
If I had to hazard a guess. And you'd love that smoke against the AWP of Icy.
Love that smoke. You've got one left. Halsark's got it deployed into the bomb site with a boost. I like this idea from Elige. Boomich, though, not showing his head. Not stepping far enough back. And perfectly keeps his head below yellow until the final seconds here on Elige. The timing does not favor him. He decides to start to dismount. And then Boomich comes into his crosshair, but but Complexity moving to the site. The plant coming in. Holzerk to plant it in the corner. Grim to make his way down the catwalk. And Cloud9, do they want to go for this? Flash goes out of the elevator. JT on the lineup. And there's a round out of your in-game leader. He got a 3K in this one, and that's the job done.
Yeah, beautiful job from JT. Little tough scenario as well. He was isolated in that fight. Nobody to peek off him from gap, so good on him for getting the double kill. Now, this is their first round win. How much do they want to hunt these weapons down? They know that AWP is in play. Some of that spam could connect, and Icy somehow makes the cross without getting touched. Complexity content with the round victory. Much easier this time. Learning their lesson from the last round. They get the 5-on-4 at the B bomb site. The second round in a row, they found that very same pick. Axal this time, Icy previously, and this time they just march forward.
Yeah, a little bit more commitment from Complexity. It works out well.
Keeping it simple.
And because of the damage that they've done on a few players, you see money is starting to become sparse on an individual basis, not so much on the Cloud9 squad, as pretty much had a lot of cash left over.
Saves help quite a bit as well.
So they're able to just toss out those M4s and keep these good buys coming for Cloud9. Now, Holzerk did get his AWP out in the first gun round. He hasn't been able to get it back since. So I'm going to have to continue with the rifles here. And oh no, not this time. Not going to get it this time. Axel fights Elish down the ramp, wins that opening duel, and the star player for Complexity is dead early.
Oh, good chip damage with the nade, bringing a couple players down to 77 and 81. JT and Holzerk going to hold the ramp. They have control, but Cloud9 with the advantage, happy to give it up and play safe from here on out. 3 players rotated over to the A bomb site. Mid is under control by Icy's AWP, and Heavy God at the B bomb site has not had a whole lot of attention sent his way. Even in some of these defaults, Complexity not sending a player into that position to apply pressure.
Defensive smoke forces JT off the ledge at the crane. Forces him to walk back and give up his position. Well, re-smoke out short as well. Boost ready to deploy. Boomich to be the foundations. To set Axel up for a second kill of this round, and it's going to work out perfectly. So JT to fall next on the ramp. Complexity stalled out in a 3v5.
Yeah, this is not looking sharp from Complexity. They're just clearing out B stairs now. Here's the peek into Axal. Heavy God as well. Good kill, but Heavy God, oh, Floppy never expected it, and Grim can't get the trade. He is a rock at this B bomb site right now, and Complexity fall flat. They have another buy behind this, but not winning 2 in a row is gonna sting.
At least they have some money here for Complexity, but yeah, it's getting to be a very rough start on their map pick, isn't it? Their T side getting stalled out. Not a lot of convincing looking rounds. The only round they've been able to win is JT getting a 3K. Does not look like Complexity are all that comfortable. There's a lot of stopping power in this Cloud9 defense.
This is what I mean by when I say, like, it feels like there's like a lack of confidence in the Complexity side, and like again, like we've seen them get 5-on-4s in one round. They just did nothing with it. The other one, they marched into the A bomb site. This is like, you know, they go A ramp and Elish gets picked off, and it feels like there's not necessarily a plan of what to do next, and just kind of leisurely hanging out at the ramp, susceptible to the boosts in the mid round. Good defensive smoke to slow things down. Complexity's attention kept towards Sandbag's top ramp. They completely forget about that boost potential. Halsey's got his ult back. Let's see what he can do with it.
Yeah, got to start delivering some impact with it now. With the change up to have superiority in the ramp fights. This time a little bit quicker for Complexity to take that top ramp control. Apply more pressure to the defense. Nades following through the smokes. Boomich dropping back in towards the connector. And the flash ready to go for Holzerk, so JT's going to move with it. He's not alone. He's got Elish with him, and I love the aggression. JT with a double kill again. This time on inters, JT with 3. He has eradicated the entire defense, and once again put his team in a position to win their second round. Holzerk stops Axal from unraveling anything, and Complexity now with 4 players that will close this.
Now that is a very cool play. That is a very cool play that Cloud9 did not expect whatsoever. And it looked like that smoke missed an elevator, and I would wonder if that's intentional, right? If you're a defender and you see the smoke with that kind of a gap, you're paying a lot of attention to it. And you're saying, oh, they missed this smoke. I've got a clear line of sight. And you're just completely susceptible to JT's play. Well struck from Complexity. And Grim sees the shadow, sees the body of Heavy God, knows exactly where he is. Holzerk going to swing into the fight and misses the shot.
Yeah, not exactly the greatest, but Grim eventually getting that pick on the way out. So a little bit more of a bite from Complexity. That's what we like to see.
All right. Let's see if that is going to help them work themselves into this game. Yeah, look at everyone primed up with counter util. Boomich comes in to help. And yeah, I mean, that's a hard situation to handle if you're the defenders. That gets hit so fast. Nicely done from JT. Timeout. So Groove can have a chat with the boys of Cloud9.
Yeah, both rounds have been won by JT for Complexity.
Yeah, different fashions, right? The double kill and the post plant this time, well, just eradicates them before a defense can even be mounted.
Yep, 3Ks in both though.
Wonder how nervous that'll make Cloud9 moving into the future. You have to imagine Complexity can now kind of lean on that. That's a pretty devastating tactic. You see that smoke come up an elevator in your Cloud9, you're really worried about someone popping their way through.
We talked about how good Cloud9's money was a little bit ago, but now they're down to their last buy. They lose this, there's not a lot of residual cash left over. Complexity chances of getting into the T side start now, and we talked about how good Heavy God is towards B. Goes 1-for-1 this time with JT.
I like the call though from Cloud9. They're trying to find that timing where Complexity is going to dedicate some players to this B bomb. Set a little flash peek for Heavy God. Looks like JT wants to disrespect this smoke a little bit. Utility coming up. All good flash. Inter is taken off the angle. JT blinded and held at bay for the moment. Gonna clear out quad. Here's the swing. Oh, good kill. JT, he's having himself a very nice start to this map. Grim can't handle the swing in middle. Smoke goes up. Complexity still with an advantage, but bomb not planted yet.
It lands onto the back of Elige. Half his health gone, but Boomich sneaking up in behind. Its Holzer dead, and Elige is low, and that grenade's gonna finish him off, surely. No, it went a little bit too far, and so Elige has a chance, but it's still so difficult. A mountain to climb. And Elige has to deal with fights on multiple fronts and just loses the duel against Boomich. So Complexity, another situation where they fail to string consecutive rounds together, and that was their chance to break the money of Cloud9. They don't do it, and so the rest of this half will remain difficult for the North American side.
Good sense from Boomich as well. He's like, okay, this is the only round they really haven't done anything at ramp. They haven't tried to take it. They haven't really had presence here, not a whole lot of utility. Most of the focus has been on the B bomb site. Takes a risk to go for an early flank, and this is a nasty timing that Complexity doesn't expect. In the 3v3, nobody realized the flank was wide open on that timing. And Boomich delivers the goods. 4-round lead for C9.
JT going back to his old tricks. Ooh, Axel got hit by the flash. The barrel spotted for JT. And he's not able to get his team involved in the start of this round towards ramp. JT to die first. Inter's Woods to construction. Eyes on the boost. Here comes Grim around it. Inter's completely ready for that, but his teammate's gone down. And Floppy's moving in.
All right, well, you've got the B bomb site yet again. Floppy's very low on health. It's going to be very difficult for him to find a way to have great impact in this post plant. And any nade is going to be susceptible to jump over the shot. Huge in Elige, looking for Boomich again, and he's got him this time.
All three of the CTs for Cloud9 coming in from the same position towards the generators. Utility lands in, Floppy to go down a quad, and so pressure on Holzerk because they know exactly where Elige is towards ramp. They last spotted him there just moments ago. Holzerk, oh, it's so tough now with AWP smoked out, and Elige smoked in behind it. Has to get the lineup, and he stops that defuse from happening on the first go, but Icy's back onto it, and Holzerk has to win it alone. The Norwegian moves in, but can he stop this? No, he can't get to the defuse in time, and Axel's got the headshot to drop the sniper in Complexity. Their money falls away on the majority of these players, and this is starting to look like a real rough first half from Complexity.
Yeah, I mean, they started this half looking good over at A-Ramp, able to find some good openings, but now struggling for it. And Cloud9 just doing enough in these B retakes. Good shot from Axel on a low HP floppy. Elige needed a double there. A very hard transition into the second kill. Halzerk with the op can't do anything as the defuse comes in inside the smoke, and Cloud9 looking very strong here on Vertigo.
Second timeout. TC trying to get his team involved on this day of elimination. This is their map pick, what Complexity so often rely upon.
And when that fails you, that's got to be a terrible feeling.
And we know Complexity, we've seen it visibly. They're not a team that deal well with mental breaking moments, shall we say, right? They
Sure.
can be quite emotionally volatile, and I think losing your map pick can be a real tough start mentally getting into an elimination series.
Especially if you're losing it in this fashion.
Exactly.
This is a map that Cloud9, I mean, this roster doesn't have a whole lot of great experience on land for Cloud9. Specifically on Vertigo, 2 maps played in the last 3 months to the 9 of Complexity. But for the moment, they're making it work really well against Complexity's home turf. Not a lot of nades for Complexity in this round, so happy to kind of sit and wait for the first 20 seconds or so, let the defensive nades come out towards ramp, let all these peaks come in. When this utility fades, then they'll start feeling like they can make their move.
One minute on the clock. Complexity already have top ramp control. I like how contact this is, but Grim has now been spotted. You'll realize that. Grim's utility out towards Axel. Axel wins the fight. Grim hops up behind the smoke, and Axel moves to the position and drops him instantly. So Complexity, they lose a player, and there's barely any utility left. You've got 2 flashes, 1 HG, and a smoke. That's all you've got left.
And back to the B bomb site we go.
There's only 35 seconds.
I know, I don't think the bomb can leave. Halzerk baits out a shot. He's trying to be a distraction and keep as many defenders here as possible. The bomb has evacuated. He's actually doing a pretty damn good job, all things considered. No utility, and he's on his own. But there's no Molotov for this position, and Heavy God, he can destroy them once again.
Halzerk to move into the open. Axile again, so sharp, and Heavy God drops the bomb. And just on time alone, it may cost him. Elige gets back to it, just enough time to get that ball planted, but he cancels it, he comes off, and Boomich had already pressured into his position. Cloud9 are dominating Complexity.
Yeah, Complexity don't even have the benefit of the first 4 rounds or so when they were getting that opening kill towards sandbags at the top of ramp. Now they're not finding anything, anywhere, not even given the space to make plays. Beautiful shot from Axel over the smoke, risky position, overexposed, but drills it. And as time dwindles down, these late B hits at sub 20 seconds, not working out in any way for Complexity, but if they can't find openings over at A, and they can't find openings in middle, they're feeling like it's the only option they have.
Flash is ready to pop these Tech 9s to the B-bomb side, but there's 2 players here, and it's a strong setup. Inches will take initial contact. Heavy God, and the long and labored spray, eventually getting the result he required. Halzerk and Grim slowed down. The Sting taken out of the attack, and Complexity completely blunted.
Okay, chill. He had 4 HP. Don't do that. Would have been funny.
Yeah, it would have been funny.
Yeah, I would have enjoyed it.
They have a lot of money.
It just seems unnecessary to shoot your teammate at the end of the round.
Yeah, well, you know. Bloodthirsty here, Cloud9 at the moment.
9-2, a 7-round lead.
Well, I think it's a good time to talk about Axel because
okay, let's have a chat.
14-5 already. You know,
that ain't bad.
This is impressive from him, and he has turned it around in CS2. He started with a very negative performance coming into CS2, but with this new squad, we've seen him start to get back a little bit.
Steadily getting
Yes.
back. But, I mean, still, for a guy who was once one of the best riflers in the world coming out of the online era, you still feel like, okay,
It's because
nice
you
seeing
know
this
how high his ceiling is.
Right, exactly. It's all relative. But it is certainly good seeing a little bit of a resurgence performance. I'll say in this game, it feels like he's gotten a few easier situations to deal with.
Sure. Enters. Waiting in middle. Alicia's gone down first. He's not going to be happy about that. In a 4v5, his Complexity's forces are committed to the B bomb site. They can have a mid lurk, but it has to be successful into the B bomb site. They have to try and take the attention away from the mid defenders, but they know what's up. holzerk and JT are going to get a couple of kills. Now Grim goes through middle. Good fights from Grim, but traded by Boomich. And now for Complexity's third round victory in this first half, it is holzerk and Floppy to hold down this post plant.
They're not even looking at the flank either. Thankfully, Boomich is not headed there this time. Floppy with low HP feels like he has to reposition into a little bit of cheese. Get close up where they might not expect you. Molotov is going to come out into the bomb site. Him and holzerk in a 2v2.
Blinded. Icy comes over, damage done, and Floppy, he's got that kill. Now it's all on Boomich. And he moves in, clears out Floppy, and down into a 1v1. holzerk on 2 HP. Hides beneath the wood, but he drops off. And he's just going to stick it. Oh, holzerk, he doesn't get around the corner. He falls off the ledge. And Complexity leave the first half with a measly 2 rounds.
I think he expected spam to come through onto the boards. He didn't think there was a world in which Boomich just stuck that defuse, but Boomich has been wily this whole half. The early ramp flank that over to the B bomb site to win out in a 3v3 that Complexity didn't expect, and now sticking the defuse. And Boomich has got his boys playing rock solid Counter-Strike, 10-2 lead.
Complexity looks stunned right now.
You know what? I don't even think they look stunned. I think they look like, yep, this is how it goes. This has been our life for a while now. And that's been the problem, is not having a way to turn these fortunes around. Some frustration from holzerk, saying, why the hell did this guy just stick the defuse?
And Boomich celebrating it immediately. Something's funny out there in Shanghai.
Yeah, they're having a good time.
That sounded like canned laughter, Jason.
Little laugh track in there. All right, here we go. Pissed around, Complexity desperately need. holzerk peeking down from gap, just jiggling for information. JT leading the way 11 and 10, and that's not a recipe for success. He can be that third star for you, but man, you need Elimination and Grim to mostly be the engine. And JT's a nice cherry on top.
But right now he's the only player that's won them a round.
2 rounds.
Exactly. 2 rounds picked up for JT. Nice and slow, silently slinking their way up the ramp until holzerk erupts with a shot on Icy.
There we go. Get some of that Norwegian anger out here.
Instead of smashing death, smash some heads. As holzerk goes out towards Cat. It's a great headshot, this time on Axel. Ball plant coming in the corner. Boomich moving up through short now. Complexity, they've got the player advantages. They've got every chance to get back in for this retake now as Boomich has now hit the deck. Some heavy guard and interest to flip this back somehow in favor of Cloud9, and the headshots, it's just 1. And heavy guard stuck at the sandbags, has got a bit of cover, but eventually holzerk will come in with the triple.
He's pissed about that clutch. He's pissed about that 1v1. Those are 3 beautiful shots from holzerk, starting this round off alone at the A bomb site, but getting it done. Now, look, with this pissed around victory, there is still a slight chance this comeback can happen. I talked at the start coming into this match when we've seen previously throughout this opening stage, Cloud9 have those T-sides that can fall flat, that can just be awkward, that can be one-dimensional. And if Complexity's defense can lock in and make this very difficult on C9, I'm not sure if they have the tactical ability to work themselves out of a tough spot. But you need individuals to wake up, and that's a good sign from holzerk that maybe one more is going to join JT to fight back in this map.
Oh, great kill from Elimination.
I don't even mind the risk-taking. Low risk, obviously, with an M4 against unarmored deagles, but could still take an easy or an unfortunate 1-deag loss. But I like the idea of Elise just, you know, you have such an advantage here. Give yourself a little bit of a death match. See if you can warm up into this. holzerk, unfortunately, is the one who takes the death. point, so Elish has to back away. Awkward smoke for Hulzerk to deal with.
"44 seconds.
M4 recovered.
Still a chance for Cloud9 to inflict some serious damage here on the Complexity. Enters waits with his blaze in hand. Gets our peek out, spots out 2 players. Aggression to short works out for JT. Now with 20 seconds left, Cloud9 seems stalled out as they try to leap into the A bomb site. And 4 is good for 1, and a second from Axel finally dealt with, but a bomb plant, that's huge.
Nope.
It's denied in the last second by Floppy.
Still, good round from Cloud9. 5 unarmored Deagles, you get 3 kills out of it. The bomb plant would have been amazing, but still you got to come out of that saying Cloud9, that's a win in their book, taking a lot of economy away. So Complexity have to work hard to build this back up. Elish has to buy back down to 0. They've got plenty of utility. Hulzerk is going to be struggling to get a weapon out from us. And a flashbang. JT left with only a smoke. That round does wonders for Cloud9 if they can win and convert this one. Double stack over in middle. Complexity want to be able to take out at least one initial lurker. Inters and Boomich paired up to watch for some kind of a push. They'll walk into the stack. Question is, what happens if Floppy goes down? He's got no more utility to hold off anything at this bomb site.
Grim and JT. Not even required really as JT because Grim gets both of those kills. So Cloud9 immediately down to just 3 players. Minute 9 seconds left. Strong start from the CT side in this second half so far. Smoke out towards the top of the stairway. Ooh. Heavy God applying some pressure towards Floppy.
Yeah, but Floppy's okay with that. Obviously a little bit nerve-wracking, the bullets coming through that smoke, but now they've called out there's 2 at B stairs. You know, they have the track of the numbers of where this is going to come from, so they have 2 players here on defense. They've got Grim up in middle, ready to go. They have a passive A setup who can have a fast rotation.
Cloud9 only have a smoke and a flash left.
And JT still has a Molotov. Good shot.
Heavy God to hit the deck. 25 seconds as Axel gets a great shot on towards Floppy. They need a follow-up at JT. He's only got 6 bullets in this M4 and it's gone. Axel fighting forward. Axel doing everything. A 3K with 15 seconds left. Moves into the site, but that key piece of utility stops him from standing comfortably in the bomb site. And with 10 seconds, it is now all on Icy. He needs kills now or the plant immediately and the bomb is dropped. And so it's Elish with a headshot and utility saves the day for Complexity.
Yeah, they're very fortunate to get away with that. That's a round that shouldn't be able to be brought back in that fashion. And it's like small details in my mind when I look at that. It's like you have this 5-on-2. And you don't need this swing from Floppy after this kill. You don't need that fight. He can just stay crouched, hidden, get up against the boards. They're going to be focused on JT. And once that swing comes out, it opens up the spacing and the ability for Axel to swing wide. And if you're going to make a comeback on this CT side, you have to have a strong economy. You have to build that up, and you have to have some clean rounds. And those are the small mistakes that, yeah, it doesn't result in a loss. But it's devastating to you trying to build up some kind of comfort in terms of the money you're working with.
But because of those mistakes, now you have to win this run cleanly. You can't afford to have too many casualties here.
And those are the mistakes it feels out of like a lack of, I don't know, lack of confidence in the setup, right? Or a lack of confidence in how you're playing and maybe how you're feeling in this game at the moment.
Floppy's going to hide at quad. JT's there to take the initial attention. But Cloud9 not heading towards B.
Those are the mistakes that keep an AWP out of Hulzerk's hands.
Yeah, that's true.
And they've had too many of those already in these first 3 rounds of play. But they are bringing it back. Slowly but surely, a tough round to handle now. And with a very passive setup at the A-bomb site out of the gate, that Molotov is a huge piece of information. The tick coming in, good reposition from Grim, or excuse me, Elish, to get over towards sandbags. He has Hulzerk and Grim to distract for him.
away. Elimination only getting one, and the P250 comes in for Cloud9. Now they're applying pressure to the bomb side. They're running right in. Smokes erupt. This could get out of hand here for Complexity. Boomage sprinting. HallZerk able to hold on. A second and three combined between HallZerk and Grim. So they take this thing out of the attack. They even prevent the bomb plant. But got a little scary there for a second.
It makes me nervous when Elimination goes down and then you see the nade come out and you see the scaling from Cloud9. Yeah, it gets a little bit dicey. I mean, nothing feeling comfortable for Complexity quite yet. And still no AWP in HallZerk's hands. Good job from HallZerk, though. Hearing the footsteps, scaling up the scaffolding.
Cloud9 have been waiting a while to get the off out for Icy, and the rifle's back in their hands. In order to get back to business, close out this map, prevent Complexity from finding success on Vertigo. HallZerk's gonna walk his way down to the bottom of the ramp and tuck himself in the corner. Powerful position.
Elimination trying to sell it as well with that spam through. Oh, there's the first, but traded off. And at least HallZerk can call out some numbers, knows there's a few more. Elimination has to be very careful.
And they start sprinting towards him. He does compose himself. He gets that pick on Axel. And unfortunately here for Cloud9, they're stalled out. They're once again held back. Grim, though, swings into the fight. Elimination has to come in and try and pick up the trade once more, and he's doing a very good job at it, but all of his teammates are dying around him. Floppy up next. This time he'll win his fight in the short play.
Okay, 2v1.
Icy's got a... Oh, seen the shadow. Oh, just spotted Elimination move over, but can't catch the timing to bring him down. And so Elimination goes back to look for it, and Icy's hit the shot.
And he knew Floppy was there as well.
Get your one bullet, one shot, one opportunity here for Icy to make this happen. And for Floppy, he tracks him around the backside. Icy's checking for him, but Floppy's made a right move. Icy goes back to the angle, though, and Floppy goes down. Icy with the 1v2 pushes Cloud9 ahead to 11.
Yeah, and Complexity just kept fighting at ramp, and now let's go back to all those mistakes made. All those rounds that Complexity was winning, but not clean in any way. They've got very little funds to fight with. This felt like this whole round is on the verge of these fights. And too many Complexity players going one for one. Cloud9 constantly ready for the next, and then it puts a beautiful clutch into the hands of Icy, who just grabs the information. And when he kills Elimination, he knows Floppy was gap as well. He knows he was in the same position, a very comfortable clutch for Icy.
And look at all of the damage that Cloud9, the Complexity have been sustaining over the last few rounds, has resulted in losing one and being sent down to a pretty poor buy. You got one M4, two SMGs, and upgraded pistols. This is not pretty for Complexity, and this is everything they've got.
Good Molotov force Floppy forward into the hands of Exile. MP9 finally gets it done, and Elimination finds a way to get away. And it stalls things out, but Grim's got to take a risk, and it's looking like it might be a very nice risk. This is a very nice timing on this flank. Although Inters, he's looking for it. Grim's got to be patient until the execute begins, but he's not going to be.
Oh, he actually got the dink immediately on towards Inters. JT. Close to the wound, looks over the top. Heavy taking the first bit of damage, but JT still so very low. And so can't cross into the open any longer. He's stuck in that corner.
Yeah, but they're fine with him being there. They know exactly where one player is. It's about the other one.
Oh, he's going to get mollied as well. He's dead. And so Elimination, they've seen him as well. They know exactly where Elimination is. And Utility comes in, limiting the positions that he can play. So he's stuck in Tetris. He's stuck in this fight. And Elimination combined with HallZerk, able to bring Boomage out of there. Elimination is stepping up again, but he's got to do it on his own. And this is the superstar of North America, the superstar Complexity. He gets them around that they so desperately need, and 4 for Elimination.
What a tough situation to be put in. Yeah, we needed that star power coming in, and Elimination has gifted Complexity a lifeline here. Very tough, slow-paced round. The brawl all taking place at the B stairs. They knew where he was the whole time, but enough players from Complexity coming over to help out, and they could never get a clean look at Elish. And finally, an AWP recovered and given over to MongolZ for the first time in this half. And there's the results. Complexity a chance to bring this back. Elish caught in the open 1-for-1. Picking up the pace is Cloud9, but still at a man disadvantage.
Sometimes a play like that, a moment that bring excitement into your team, can get them back into it. It can be enough to spur them on. But they have to be able to convert this into a round victory.
It's a little bit of a nerve-wracking situation, though, for Complexity. They've had nobody in the B bomb site for quite some time. You can see how cautious JT is being and slowly shifting over. They're going to see the smoke execute, which might let them know that nobody's actually in the bomb site, so they'll start stepping forward. And here comes the hit. It's going to have to be a retake, a boost up from the AWP. Yeah, very nice glimpse, and MongolZ picks off another one. That AWP having immediate impact now that it's in the field of play.
Well, the bomb will still be planted. Icy to lock it in. But Complexity should feel good about this, especially with a headshot through the smoke onto Pumic. It leaves Icy alone at the generator. And it's all about some damage on the way out here for Icy. He will be traded eventually. And not a single kill for Icy alone. So an 8th round for Complexity. And what a great moment it would be. Elish steps up, he gets you a 4K that really shouldn't have happened, and you're able to turn this back. That is the kind of play that a superstar can get you. You've got to run with it now if you're Complexity, though.
Yeah, this has been the cleanest round they've had. Obviously up against a lower buy from Cloud9. With that plant, they're going to have a full set of AK-47s and AWP out an Icy if they want it, but the AWP helps them have a relatively clean round. Only one player going down. Critical kills from MongolZ to make this as easy a retake as possible. That one obviously helps massively from Floppy. A little bit of a crossfire would have been set up, but they're now within 3. And a second timeout taken from Cloud9 as they watch this lead dwindle. It was 10-2 at half. A 6-1 run for Complexity on their CT side. And the woes of Cloud9's offense continue. It's got to be so tense in these booths, this elimination match. 1 and 2 match between the two teams. The loser goes home, eliminated from the Shanghai Major.
Cloud9 ended up here by losing to Pain yesterday. Complexity, shocking start here at the Major for them. Losing their best of ones, immediately having to go into the best of 3, fight for survival. This is their second of their gauntlet run back into contention for progression. Cloud9 with heavy forces committed to the bottom of B.
And this is that rough T side that they play. Same kind of thing they did on Ancient that I was referencing against Team Liquid that allowed the comeback to happen. Is just very simplistic, very grouped up, hit one side of the map, not applying pressure in multiple places, not taking any control to force the defense to move. It's just, we're gonna head to this position and eventually we're gonna hit the bomb site. So the map is quiet. JT's gonna re-smoke. He still has that Molotov to deal with when the set piece comes in. They gotta be careful about this boost. Floppy looks like he's looking for it. That smoke will negate their motivation to go for it. Looks almost like multiple boosts about to be set up and erected once this smoke clears. Heavy got behind the boards. Exile jumping up at the headshot angle.
Running thin on time. But Complexity running thin on kills. Axel with a double. MongolZ finally burning away Inters, but it's going to be a big step up from the AWPer here. 19 seconds. They stall out Cloud9. Great shot from MongolZ. Misses the follow-up. And look at this play from Icy.
No one's watching it.
But he's alone now. They all line up. And he puts Complexity cold with a 3K. That might just break them. That might just end their Vertigo.
What happens in this initial hold. Like, the boost up can be tricky, but how does Floppy not get this? A little bit blinded, maybe? But Axel getting a double there is unreasonable. And even with the kills over the top, nobody looking for this play. They thought Icy would be hustling into the bomb site, and he pulls them out of the brink of defeat, 12-8.
It takes everything out of Complexity's hands. 3 rifles, MP9, 5.7. The gut punch from Icy. Elimination boosts it up. So over the kill on Axel. Response is there from Floppy, so a follow-up here for Complexity. As this is looking clean. Doesn't look like this is the round they're going to concede.
No, this one got away from Cloud9. Everyone just going down 1 for 1. Isolated battles, and now Complexity can play this passive. They don't have to commit to any of these fights. Again, everything's been difficult for Complexity in this half. Still looking for like a really clean gun round win. This would be great. If they could get AK-47s on Elimination and Grim at the end of this round, their money would be in such a nice spot to make this comeback happen. And they need it because they haven't had that relief this whole time. And there it is, a clean sweep for Complexity. Everyone's gonna have an AK-47, looking good. But no more mistakes to give up. No missed shots, no missed rotations. It has to be perfect from Complexity. They need 3 more rounds.
Three more for overtime. Boomich.
They're not aware. They're not aware. They're not aware.
Slipping around the back, but he didn't continue his push.
That's crazy. They were not ready for that swing whatsoever. I thought Boomich was about to destroy their entire life.
But they used the boost in the last round. They're going to do it again. I see. Tech9 spotted. Eli's going to deal with it. The boost works out again. This time Grim comes out on top, and Boomich goes a little bit forward, a little bit too late. And it's cleaned up in the end by Complexity. But you're right, that did feel like there was a moment when Boomich was about to unravel everything.
Oh my lord, I just like looked into the future and it scared the hell out of me. Boomich almost turning the corner, just delete that boost. Another relatively clean round, only Elimination falling. 4 players survive. 12-10. And timeout from Groove. Had what, 4 chances to close this map out? 2 of them have gone by the wayside.
Gotta say that MongolZ has certainly had some better moments in the second half. Still has that AWP in his hand, something that Cloud9 will not be afforded. They will not have Icy on the sniper. But he's shown that he can do it on the AK. That clutch looked like it was going to make Complexity's world go cold here on Vertigo.
Yeah, I mean, despite everything, despite some of the struggles, pretty good tenacity for Complexity, handling that kind of a devastating loss. We'll see if they can complete the comeback. MongolZ with the op over towards Sandbags. He has a smoke for a Molotov that may come in a little bit later. This time Cloud9 are spreading out into more of a default style.
Going for the peek down the ramp. MongolZ not spotting much, despite that smoke being dispersed. Elimination. He's walked down into the corner, and it's going to work out for Elimination. He's got Boomich. Follow-up from MongolZ and Complexity. Now with 2 players up, should be converting this into an 11th round victory.
Yeah, you've got MongolZ in a position to take one more shot before backing away. He can hold and have information off angle from JT that Icy can't handle. Over to the B bomb site we go. It's the final play of Cloud9. Alicia's going to push forward. He'll have a good timing on a flank if things go south. And Floppy in a strong position that they cannot clear.
He's also got JT as the early warning system to notify Floppy that they have pushed up into the bomb site. Then Floppy can peek out. The shoot guarantee a win here. Floppy peeks out to the right side. Inter's taking damage from Grim. And that'll end up being 11th round victory here for Complexity. It's going to be down to the final round of regulation. Cloud9 will have enough for a buy on the majority of their players with the AKs out. Heavy God's going to have to take a hit and go to the Galil. But much better in these last few rounds here for Complexity. In particular, they're just winning those ramp fights very cleanly. They had a couple of different looks. They had boosts. This time they go a little bit more aggressive with MongolZ supporting Elimination with a sniper. So Cloud9 accelerated a little bit quicker towards B, but smoke goes in. They'll play around the bottom of the stairs.
Over to the B stairs we go. 3 players waiting out the smoke. Extended engagement down the A ramp as well. MongolZ in position with the op, so Elish can play it passive and let the AWP take contact. 2 players in middle. They want to pick off somebody investigating, but Cloud9 not sending anyone into the location. And now moving around the map. Cloud9 have waited out the initial salvo of nades on A ramp, and it looks like they want to come back into it. Icy in front of the smoke, undeterred.
But the AWP here for MongolZ looks good. It's going to be smoked out though. His information flow severed off, and he doesn't want to commit too far to that left angle in case he gets in an awkward fight with the rifle close quarters.
Even if you get the shot around that if you're wide, that spam coming through can be deadly. So a little bit of pressure applied to the A ramp, but Cloud9 don't truly want to use it. They just want to make the defense honest, and they've accomplished that goal. It leaves Floppy alone once again playing in quad. There are Molotovs this time to clear out the position. And Complexity now going to start getting the sense that something is happening on the other side of the map. Something is amiss. You see the rotation on the minimap. Grim sliding over to mid. Elish backing off as well. 23 kills for him. And Floppy now calling it in.
Well, Floppy has a big job to do. He needs to anchor down this ship of Complexity. Otherwise, their Vertigo set sail. And he's taking damage, but he throws that smoke to keep his life. And that's the most important thing. He can buy time. He can be a part of this late puzzle, but Floppy to go down. Grim steps up in his stead. And it's down to Axiles, who's having one hell of a game to close this out, but Elish goes forward through the smoke, but there's no time for the plant. It is all tied up, and we have got overtime. Complexity stay in this opening map.
You can thank Elish. That clutch with the MP9, absolutely massive to keep the comeback going, and then everyone else starts to pick up their game. And the nice thing for Complexity in overtime, those money issues they dealt with this whole half disappear. They go away, they get plenty of cash. And once again, it's Cloud9's T side that let them down. A 10-2 first half on defense, and they cannot produce enough on offense to get it done. Complexity get the information just at the right time. 1 for 1 on the initial defense. But the fact that Grim and Elish were able to rotate over at the perfect moment ensures that hit cannot be victorious. And you see that frustration from Axel with the game he's had, just flipping the mouse. Frustrated they're not able to get it done.
The smiles from Elish. He did save them earlier in the half. The 4K with the MP9 can prove to be the pivotal point of this game, because it kept some life and complexity. It looked like if Cloud9 had won that, they would have been pushing themselves in the direction of victory very swiftly. But Elish keeps them in it. The rest of the team have woken up. Grim had a big round towards the end of the half there. Cloud9 decide to stay on 5 rifles. MongolZ going for an investigative play inside of mid. A little bit more advanced in his positioning. slow from Cloud9, but eventually they're going to take this ramp control. And this time, for the first time in a while, Complexity aren't applying pressure here. They aren't active about gathering information. But a boost again? They've used it so many times on the CT side so far.
Remember, you're at this stage of the game. You can forget those details moving up with the pressure. They hear the footstep as the boost is dismounted. Elish wants to go for a little bit of fun. Flashed into it, sees nothing. There are all 5 players from Cloud9 on this ramp. They've got utility for a full execute.
Now, ran out of time in the last round of regulation. They do not want to have the same thing happen to them here. So here they go. Spam onto Elish is good. But it's still a 5v5 in the final 20 seconds of the first round of overtime. And Grim catches Axel walking through that short smoke into the open. Holzerk misses a shot and eventually brought down by the heaviest of gods. But Icy moving forward, stopped by Floppy, and 10 seconds left here for Heavy God. No bomb in his possession. Now, really, no time unless he plants right now, and that isn't going to happen. Heavy God will not win this clutch, and Complexity stall out Cloud9 long enough to get the job done.
He goes down after the time as well, 5,500. That could actually have an impact down the stretch. Elish had his moments in regulation. Grim has had some big moments as well. This one's huge as the defense is falling apart. Holzerk missing some shots. Takes down Axel on the gap lurk through the smoke. Able to get a double kill into the bomb site to keep Complexity in contention. 13-12. And you do have that 3-player impact from Complexity now, where throughout most of this opening stage, it's been Elish and Grim. You've got Holzerk chiming in with 21 kills as well.
Floppy.
Oh, now they're starting to get some swagger.
Flash play, yeah. Confident. Flash play is perfect. Floppy gets away with it. You just dive in, dive out with an opening kill. Talked about perhaps Complexity lacking belief sometimes. I think if they are able to pull this game back and turn this around and get this job done, they'll start to believe that they're capable of anything. And as that kill comes in from Floppy, it's a second. Complexity with a 5v3, and Cloud9 stalled out on this T-side. They just don't have the answers. Yeah, but Boomich is going to try and make a play here. Drop some utility back to his teammate to Inters to set him up. He wants to turn this corner. Flashbang coming out. Molotov into that position, though. Boomich has to run back. Defense holding very strong. Floppy's double kill so far. Spots one over the board's going to drop off. They've got plenty of players here to prevent access to Cloud9, but can't get it done. Another missed shot. This time he won't miss, though, as Icy's left alone. Tucked in the corner. Can he get another clutch? This one would be unbelievable. He's got the first. Doubled up. As he tries to seven them off with utility. Wants to make sure nobody's going to swing wide on him, but this round is unwinnable. Bomb is dropped at the stairs. Alicia's on the flank. Icy can do absolutely nothing. It's Grim to close things out. 14-12. Defensive dominance continues. A 12-2 run since we switched sides. You want to get most of the heavy lifting done here on the CT side of overtime as well if you're Complexity, because you know that your T side had its weaknesses, but it feels like it's going to be a different story considering the fact that a lot more of these players have woken up. A lot of these players are warmed up into the game, which was not to be said in that first half. Look at the money on Cloud9. This is where that Heavy God going down after time in the first round of overtime comes into effect, because Icy's picked up the op, so he's going to be low on cash. Heavy God comes into this like 3,300 because he got no bonus money in that round, so you got 2 players with Galillas and light on utility. This will be the most difficult of the 3 overtime rounds Cloud9 have played so far, and they won neither of the first 2. It's the Exile show for Cloud9, the supporting cast not having enough impact as this game has dragged on. Exile's managed to get up short. This could be huge. JT's watching for it, but Exile, oh, he comes around, looks at the boost instead of the foundations, and JT able to punish for that. The reaction for Cloud9 is to try and apply pressure over towards B. Floppy's been solid at this B bomb site, but he's had a lot of support generally when they've come in the last few times. This time it's only him.
Grim just now arriving.
Floppy's see the utility coming up. He can call for Grim to come back and support him.
Again, he just slides into quad, though. Such a safe place for the B defender as these rounds extend later and later. And again, not a whole lot of utility. Elige going investigating. Boomich, he was on his own for quite some time. Grim wants to go for some information. Might not be worth it. Heavy God walks right through the smoke. Big risk, and it might pay off.
Yeah, Heavy God already through. We've been waiting for a Heavy God moment, and he just isn't going to get it. The long-winded spray and Complexity keep it clean. 15 to 12, they are now on map point and have so many chances to close out Vertigo.
Yeah, 3 chances to the 4 that Cloud9 had in regulation, and this feels like a Complexity that has built up into this game, and they finally arrived. And if this confidence isn't going to get your T side going, it struggled in the first half. They struggled as it went on their own T side to find openings, to find entries. Had a couple good ones early, but Cloud9 shut them down eventually. Heavy God was a beast at the B bomb site, so what does Complexity call?
We started this series by talking about Complexity and the fact that they lose Vertigo. What do they have in the series? You know, like if you lose your map pick that has such an advantage towards you, the rest of the series is going to be very difficult mentally, but they have stayed in this fight right to the bitter end and can now see their reward in the distance. The AWP comes out for Icy. We didn't see it on the T side. Cloud9 have to go on a flawless run here just to get another overtime.
Let's go, Cloud9!
This is, to me, this is less about Cloud9's defense and more about Complexity now that everyone seems to have gotten a bit more energy, a little bit more, proactiveness, a little bit more assertiveness in the fights they're selecting. What's the T side going to look like now that they've had an entire game underneath their belt? It looked in the first half like they were trying to warm up into things. That didn't get started until the second half.
The peek for Icy. Oh yeah, that's more like it. Icy with a collateral. A great start into the round here for Cloud9. And that's not exactly what you want to deal with immediately into the gun round of the T side.
No, not at all.
No.
But that's how the first half kind of ended, was Cloud9 being way more aggressive down the ramp and shutting down the ramp control for Complexity. Saying, okay, you guys have had success getting some picks over towards sandbags, getting some picks over towards gap, but now let's just kind of peek down and deny it.
Heavy God waits around the corner with the wood. The attention will be drawn towards the double stack because the utility just thrown out. And so Heavy God is able to get a double without any of his opponents looking at him. Now Axel coming through elevator. It's a great kill from Grim, but this would have to be an ace.
The hardest ace of all time, the 1v5.
30 seconds as well with the bomb not in his possession.
Yeah,
it's impossible.
And you can see he's looking towards the A bomb site. He'll never have any indication that all 3 players are over at the stairs, but there's just not enough time for him as this smoke goes up. So he's got to hustle, and it's just going to be desperate.
Yeah, he'll throw the smoke out. He'll go for the flash. But too many targets and not enough time. As Grim moves into position, they line up, and that was the way.
Okay.
That was one way he could have done it. But the lineup does not happen for him. But there is a world in which he wins that.
Potentially there as they line up. Just a brutal way to start the round. A collateral, good flashbang to activate that kind of a peak.
Elimination just always gives me the jump scares, man.
Yeah, he really does. He's so locked in. Eyes going wide as the flashbang blinds him. (15-13). And once again, Heavy God has just been a force at this B bomb site. Oh, good find.
It's so quick from Elimination that Icy just wasn't ready. Boomich stepping up in return, though, making sure that trade comes in and not allowing Complexity to play with an advantage.
That's actually a huge trade to get. I think maybe a missed Molotov, a missed opportunity to actually watch for that. Elish might have been expecting a teammate to be able to hold that kind of a peak, but that deep smoke prevented from JT to have information. Still provided them an opening kill. Smoke utilized to look over the top and peer for any more aggression, but Cloud9 has backed off. Up in position for one more. Exile. 27 kills now, and out mid we go. Boomich goes down, and now we split into the B bomb site. Enters, but Heavy God has been the final boss, but not this time. Not this time at all. And it's Exile in a 1v2. Can he save Cloud9 yet again?
Well, he's had his fantastic performance here on Vertigo. This is to take it to another level. Grenade goes in. MongolZ blasted away. And so it falls to a 1 versus 1. Exile using his final pieces of utility to limit the positions that Floppy can play in, but the dink is immediately landed. Floppy gives his position away, sure, but he blinds Exile, he keeps him low on health, and time will start to tick on to the point of no recovery. Exile getting closer, needs this kill on Floppy, buying his time, playing with his food, and this will end up being a complexity victory. If there's no time for Exile, he's gonna go to the defuse, he's gonna hold it all the way, but for complexity, they come back all the way. They show fantastic tenacity, great mental resilience, and with a little help from their superstar player in the middle of the game, they are able to get the job done here on Vertigo.
Yeah, but nothing was easy, and yeah, you have to give Complexity credit. Buried in the first half, heartbreaking 1v3 against Icy that he wins to
it away.
Solid CT sides. The nice thing for them is Heavy God once again is going to be the anchor over at that B bomb site like he was on Vertigo, and he performed so well in that capacity on Vertigo, and he did so well in that capacity on Ancient against Liquid, anchoring that bomb site. So you have that, but that's the second half. And again, this start is going to be everything for Cloud9. This T side, can they get 5 rounds? Can they get 6 rounds? Or are they going to be buried again? Only managing to scrape a couple together here or there. Pistol round is going to be critical for them, I think.
Cloud9 and Complexity fighting for survival here at the Perfect World Major in Shanghai. We kick off the second map. Complexity on the defense. Jewel Beretta's on 2 players. A flashbang available for JT and some speed behind this play from Cloud9 as they get their way into the cave. But Grim is ready, and the Jewel Berettas can unleash hell when they come through a close choke point like this. Grim only getting 1. MongolZ chiming in with his out towards ramp. Now they can focus the remaining forces that come through the cave, and Complexity shut down Cloud9.
Man, just really nice crossfire setup for Complexity every step of the way. You've got Grim lying in wait over in cave. He only gets the 1, but eventually the Halls push is taken care, or the ramp push is taken care of, and then you have another crossfire as you exit. Wonderful reactions, good protocols from Complexity. Every step is difficult and costly for Cloud9, and that pistol round goes by the wayside.
Well, no bomb plant means no good force buy here in the second round for Cloud9. Complexity will be given a 2-0 start.
Which is such a luxury. You want to talk about their struggles on the CT side on Vertigo is never being able to have clean rounds to build up money. Every single round for like the first 5 or 6 was 3 players down, not able to grow cash, always on the brink of being reset. They had to win a desperate round with MP9s and pistols. That was the magic provided by Elige. Get out to a clean start here with such a heavy advantage. MongolZ with 2. Eventually traded, but shouldn't lose anything from here.
Oh, nice shutdown. Nice and clean. They lose 1 single player. Complexity keep the money swelling. And for Cloud9, their buy is coming right up. You mentioned the fact that it's now, what, a 16-4 run?
Yeah, 16-3.
16-3 run in rounds since Vertigo, and we're now looking at Cloud9 getting their first buy round. They've got to start getting some round victories here just for the mentality side of the game.
And it's one of those things where I think this might not even be a conversation if we're talking about a different squad, but with Cloud9 and how inexperienced this roster is together, I think it absolutely can have a big effect on their mentality coming into this.
Oh, that's a great start for JT. Can't be bad to that. Heavy God going down in the first gun round here for Cloud9 without even getting a fight going. It was nearly a similar response as Floppy tapped down through that donut smoke, but still surviving.
I like this though. Complexity, they started making these kind of proactive, assertive plays on their CT side. Vertigo, a little bit too much of a peek from MongolZ, wide swings. Exile's able to find him. That leaves Floppy all on his own in Donut, who they've already spotted out. Complexity have information on the other side of the map, but they're going to be able to work players into position to actually stop this wraparound. Clearing out mid as we go. They're going to tell Floppy, nobody's in mid, don't worry about Donut, just look towards CT spawn. But they already spotted Floppy here throwing the smoke earlier. They're going to know this position. And Complexity, it's kind of awkward. Like, where do you rotate? They're backing up like it's going to be a B-Rap. So Floppy, it's all on your shoulders to provide a kill or 2 that can give Complexity a round to retake this bomb site.
They come into the Donut. Floppy despite taking damage earlier on, still does well to get himself a kill. But traded by Boomich, 30 seconds left, and Axel's looking to cut off rotations. The reinforcements trying to arrive, but Grim taking damage. First, he had a Liege coming in behind him, and just with the speed, they get past his crosshair and make it uncomfortable. Now Grim's accelerating right in towards Icy, puts him out, and now it's Boomich stuck behind the big box. 1v3 for Big Boom. He's going to move out to the right side. No one detected. Grim goes down first, but a worthy sacrifice in terms of getting information as to where Boomich is playing from. And now they move in on him. They look to try and crush him, and JT is the man to send the bullet through the head. So Complexity take 3 in a row.
That's a lovely round from Grim. A lovely round with the MP9 just to be the distraction, jumping around corners, making it difficult for Axel to grab him. Got to give credit over to Floppy for finding his 1 kill as they creep up on him in Donut. Pretty tricky round considering Complexity had all the information. Knew exactly where Cloud9 could be the whole time, just never knew where their finishing goal was going to be until Floppy gets in. And a beautiful retake at the A bomb site. So still the T side not producing results for Cloud9.
Gonna gather outside of the A bomb site. Everybody with Tech 9s, armor, decent amount of utility.
MongolZ has his ult, but he's playing it passively in CT spawn, so he's going to get smoked off.
So a bomb plant coming right up for Cloud9 most likely.
You'd imagine, which Complexity is going to be fine with. Bomb plant or not, it's a buy in the next round, so it's more about, you know, winning the round than stopping any kind of a plant. Good shot from Temple.
Oh, they didn't actually commit to the A bomb site. Instead, they're trying to fake out the A play, get those rotations over, and then climb up heaven. So JT's got to detect this. He hears the steps, and he catches a few players. Entering cave a little bit late into the round, and a fantastic flashbang alongside kill for Elimination. And Axel, good pick on the Tech 9. Icy to follow up, and the bomb plant will be going down, but it's over towards B, and now there's better weapons on the ground for Cloud9.
There's a smoke on Floppy. He's coming in late. Needs to put it towards short if he can so that Elimination can activate. Icy's going to be frustrated as this plumes, but he steps in front. Oh, he's going to win the round for Cloud9. Beautiful shot, and there's the Deagle, and Cloud9 get a miracle.
Such a cool round because it looked like it was all towards the A bomb site. And Complexity start making those rotations, expecting that to be the case, right? You get a pick from MongolZ out from Temple into A main. You get 2 more CTs going through Donut. But a great call to leave A so quickly, decisively go back over towards the B bomb site.
The Axel kill on JT and the Icy kill on MongolZ are the big ones. Obviously, JT being able to clear out B lane is massive. So they respond with a low buy, and Complexity, much like Vertigo, their economy right on the ropes, so they have to descend down 2 M4s, 2 pistols, and MP9 on MongolZ. And they need to utilize a little bit of trickery.
Elimination jumps into the corner, M4 ready to go, and Intros walks right in towards him. So Elimination's aggression pays off, and they're now trying to get rid of him, but he's stuck around. He went back for another fight. You can't blame him. It looked like he had a chance for a follow-up.
I actually thought he did a pretty good job of making it seem like he fell back while still maintaining some aggression, but yeah, not the peak that he would have liked. They still were prepared for him. Not caught nearly off guard as he would have liked. 1 minute and 10 seconds remaining on the clock, and Cloud9 goes quiet, stand pat, and realizing the economic situation, look for a response from Complexity.
So the utility's going out towards the A bomb sites. You got smoke in for Donut and the smoke for CT. But they don't intend on using them by going through A main.
That's a lovely defensive smoke.
Well, that has thrown a spanner into the works.
Yeah, okay, a boost up though. Nope, maybe not. They call it off. Back away.
Wow.
This is going to run the clock down.
Complexity have read this completely, dude. They just stacked the B bomb site.
This is crazy. Oh, man. Cloud9's in for a world of hurt. Unless there's some kind of a push, they're in so much trouble.
This is the best chance for Complexity to win this round. 19 seconds left. Cloud9 have to commit into the B bomb site stack. Molotov forces JT into the open, but Grim on the double. MongolZ swings before his death, and now it is Axel with a 1v2 ahead of him, and just enough time. He starts planting now, but he's run out of time now. The headshot, not enough to get the bomb planted. Similar round to what we've seen over on Vertigo.
I was going to say, that's like deja vu. Axel trying to fake the bomb plant to pull him out, but not with enough time to get the kills. Does recover the operate at the end, which is quite nice, but Complexity, perfect read of the situation the whole time. the whole time. Undeterred by a small fake thrown towards the A bomb site. That Molotov is nice. JT's probably frustrated with it, but then it's like, oh, all of a sudden it ruins the pathing of Cloud9 as well. Okay, now the vibes are good.
I'm very happy about that, but money's not good, Jason. That's still a problem here for Complexity. 2 MP9s, one for JT, one for Elige. Rest on rifles. Cloud9 on the brink of collapse economically as well. A swing round, as we like to call this one in round 6.
Doubled up in cave. Good kill from Grim. Having impact, much like Vertigo. Oh, even Elige is able to recover. Swap out to an AK-47. 5-on-3 for Complexity's defense.
Yeah, an incredible start into round 6. One that they should not let slip. There should be no way for Cloud9.
And look at the position of Cloud9 at the moment. Like, what do you do from here? The only thing you can do if you want to try and recover this in the moment is some kind of individual play, and Boomich ain't feeling too motivated. So gonna have to burn some time, letting Icy's op reconvene towards the B bomb site. The cave aggression backs off. Complexity realize with the advantage, they can play in smarter positions. Grim sees nothing in middle. It'll give him the freedom to back away when this utility starts coming out, being called over by the remaining 2 defenders. Set up for retake in this 5-on-3. 2 players holding on to cave. Smokes up, they'll wait for them to fade. And Cloud9's gonna have a tough task. There's no utility though to block off the op, and that's the bomb being stopped.
Damn.
Good response from Boomich, but this just eats time off the clock, makes it so much more difficult, and now impossible. Icy has to save the op.
And this crucial swing round for the economy goes the way of Complexity, and does so in very convincing fashion. They only lose 1 player, so some of the problems you mentioned earlier for Complexity on Vertigo's CT side was sometimes if we run out of money earlier on in the half. Well, not the case now. They've got plenty of residual that they can build on, and it should only get better because Cloud9 don't have a whole lot to play with here, but with that saved AWP and a few players capable of purchasing, you wouldn't be surprised to see a buy around the sniper.
I don't know what you... This is that hole that I really wanted Cloud9 to avoid on this T side.
They've fallen right in.
19-4 run since the second half of Vertigo began for Complexity. If you're Cloud9, it just feels like it's been so long since you've had anything positive to think about inside the server. Boomich going to be able to have money for an AK-47. Inters and Exile going to be a little bit hurt in terms of what they can buy. Individuals here for Complexity early, and we've seen a number of rounds with good reads and good protocols.
So the buy is in for Cloud9. The ops in for Icy. AK for Heavy God, Khalil, and Axel and Boomich, and a Tech 9 for Inters. Still has some potential. They leap into the B lane. Help behind utility for the time being. They're going to try and boost Icy's op over. That smoke has raised relatively high, so we can't look over the top of it. But it will fade away. You don't want to be caught on the receiving end of the sniper here, Halzerk. So he waits around the corner. Here comes the swing, and Icy able to dodge the flash, get back to the angle, and drop Grim.
So Complexity fall into that double cave setup again to at least obliterate half the attack, and then able to play retake. Mid control is there as well. That's Elige finding one. Oh, late push though. Good trade, important trade, but now they know. Now they know the B bomb site's going to be clear.
Inters is to the back of the pack though. He's only just picked up that bomb. And it has been a burst forward for Icy once again, chiming in with this op. Elige has arrived back, but Icy hears the step, and now his scope goes in. Elige realizes he can't go for that peek any longer against the op, so he moves in short instead. And that plan being committed to. Elige able to react fast enough to drop Heavy God. Icy's op rings out again. Elige knows where his targets are. He goes for the fight. Elige with a shot, and he runs out of ammo, so it's all on Floppy coming back to win this, and he can't stop Inters. Cloud9 with weakened weapons, but they've got the AWP, and now they've got their round.
Well, that's a hard-fought round for Cloud9. Icy does everything. The opening kill, you could see, I think, Complexity trying to catch him off guard with a late push at the tail end of that Molotov. The aggression and Cave backfires in a 1-for-1, but Elish still stands tall. It's the flashbang that wrecks him at the end. And Inters with an all-important, impactful 1v2. Cloud9 desperate for T-rounds, and he delivers. Fast towards the A bomb site.
No one's home.
Change of pace.
No one is home. Fastest play they can get here is Holzerk, and he only has a 5-7. Burning in the donut. Sound made. Boomich easily spams him down.
Looks like Complexity want to give this a shot on the retake, see if they can get anything crazy going, but now the 5-7s are down. You don't want to risk the follow-up weapons. So Cloud9 break the economy, and they find themselves a third and a foothold in this half if they can build upon it.
Crucial round victory for Cloud9 in the previous. And it's given them some life, so perhaps they can start to dig themselves out of this hole, Jason.
Yeah, it looks like it should be possible moving forward. Next round, we'll see what Complexity decides to do around the 2 MP9s and the M4 they're saving. Money's not great. I imagine they just stand pat and see what they can get done with the weapons they bring forward. So Cloud9 with a real chance to scrape together a dangerous amount of rounds in this first half. Good call from Boomich. Good change of pace. And that's going to make Complexity nervous about those fast A plays moving forward into the half.
Yeah, can't really leave the A bomb site open. If you see that as a weakness. So mid-pusher Complexity, 4 players going that way, and JT the only member at the B bomb site.
Oh, they're going to climb up though. Elish, good dink, good cleanup. Yep, that's a good find. Cloud9 going to play this slow from here on, so a chance for Complexity to reconvene.
Heavy got to walk up into the Zeus, and nice try from JT, but it isn't going to work out for him. But the relocation of the resources has allowed Elish to get back over towards long.
Yeah, but you know that AWP is going to be trained in.
Fight that really need to go the way of Complexity, but eventually it does with that USP. Heavy got to go down, Grim swings out a donut, and you can't let this one go if you're Cloud9. So Axel springs into action, and he takes matters into his own hands. Icy getting away from the B-bomb site, but Complexity are on for the race. They're trying to get back in time.
Yeah, but there is plenty of time with that bomb coming in very, very late, and Elish is having a very good game. Hulls are going to come through CT spawn. Elish going to work his way towards donut. Flashbang is out. They want to get aggressive on this, though. Heavy got holding off. Or excuse me, Axel holding off, waiting for the plant. There's the tap. The transfer over is almost there.
But now it's on Elish, who just spotted. The bomb plants are leaving. He takes out Axile. It's the AWP against Elish. As he goes into the fight, it's damage done, but Icy blasts his head off.
Close. So close. Complexity able to make a real round out of that. Some of these situations are so dangerous. Complexity able to grab a kill, but every single time someone from Cloud9 returned, the Galil's ringing out. Grim trading out to the AK, doesn't give him time to adjust on the Exile, and just barely they squeak it out. Good discipline from Icy, holding his shot until he knows he's gonna land it.
Big swing from JT as he goes into the open. Elish to trade it, Icy to fall.
I actually don't know how Elish is alive right now, but he's gonna get away. Risky gambit.
He's having a great map at the moment. 12-4. So close to winning that clutch.
Problem is with this low HP, He's maintaining aggression, and he's maintaining his position and control of Jaguar. Cloud9 go quiet once again. And that
away. Axel's caught. Back turn to the smoke as it fades away. And both 8 players for Cloud9 go down in an instant. Elish decides to move forward on that information. But at least he's picked up info for Grim to stabilize and look to lock down this B bomb site on his own. Heavy God to fall first, and Grim to not give up his life. And that forces Boomich into a 1v3. He'll put the bomb down in the site, but getting out of this one alive is going to prove a task insurmountable, and that is going to be Boomich to hit the deck and the scoreline to be extended for Complexity.
Cloud9 just losing players on that two-man attack into the A bomb site. They never expected 2 defenders to be there. A really nice setup, and as the smoke clears, Exile's free. Complexity doing a nice job of just suffocating some of these mid rounds. Even Elish kind of going out with that low HP is kind of a smart decision to be the one to investigate, because who cares if you go down with 15 HP when you're in that situation. You let Grim know what's coming, you give your teammates a jump on the rotation, and Complexity handle the late stages of the round. 2 more rounds remaining in this opening half. And the AWP, is this the first time we've seen it in MongolZ's hands?
First that I can remember on the map, for sure, but might have had it out earlier.
Both maps, it's taken him quite some time to get the AWP out on the CT side.
And it was a huge piece of their success, too. Let's see what he's able to get done as he makes his way out. Donut, he's got eyes on elbow, and Axel showing the door.
He put a lot of faith.
He did.
That no one was going to be coming from the jump up. Taking a big risk.
Could have very easily lost that AWP as soon as he got it out, but it is going to be impact found by MongolZ.
I don't think Elish doesn't realize that Boomich can be here.
I mean,
they believe that MongolZ had the timing to see that cross. Boomich snuck into a really advanced position, so keep an eye on that number 4 in the minimap and when he decides to make his play.
Elish is just checking it every now and then.
Yeah, but it's knife out jumping, and Boomich is going to realize, yeah, he's spotting for information. I got to wait for a good timing. And when this hit comes in, he can have a really quick, dangerous timing on a backstab.
Ever patient is Boomich, but we go on to the fight here at A main. Boomich in a duel against Elish, and he'll win it on that Tech 9 as he finally springs forward. 45 seconds, Cloud9 trying to get out towards the A site.
Here comes Boomich.
Here he is again. Boomich is now right through CT spawn, and what a shot from MongolZ. Gets 4 in the round as soon as the AWP is brought out. It's Icy in the 1v3, and MongolZ just goes through the fire, through the flames, because he is on a heater. Icy waits behind the big box, and 3 Complexity players stare him down. He cannot leave.
MongolZ wants that ace.
And he is primed, ready to take it, but his Grim will steal the honors.
Beautiful round from MongolZ. Some risk taken, but fantastic shooting. And Boomich was the only X factor for Cloud9, and he almost made it work. Stellar performance, getting aggressive at the point of attack. And this flick on the Boomich is everything.
It is so good from MongolZ. And that's why you want to get the AWP out as soon as you can and as often as you can.
And that's your AWPer. He's been having a quiet opening stage of the major. You need him to win this series. You need him if you want to move on.
Fast B play, Heavy got at the front, Elish to trade it out. But it's quick for Cloud9. Fortunately for Complexity, they have numbers inside of Cave.
And Cloud9 haven't taken control of long whatsoever. Oh, good little jump for information. Spotting it out. MongolZ not spreading.
Okay. A little bit scary for a second. But with the bomb planted, the main objective achieved for Cloud9. 1v3 is not going to happen.
Yeah, the danger of losing that round is if those Tech 9s are able to push up around the cube, get control of long, really pressure the rotations, and nobody from Cloud9 moved forward to try and take control of that side of the map. So Complexity, an easy job mopping up players inside the open B bomb site, 8-4 half.
Do you think that's enough for Cloud9 to feel comfortable? I mean, you barely win any rounds towards the end of Vertigo. You go on this huge loss streak. You come in, you have a pretty slow start in H-Chip, but you scrap together 4.
Not comfortable, but I think the way you have to spin it is kind of, you know, we didn't win the pistol round and we still got 4. We won 4 gun rounds. We won a low buy to get started. We broke the economy. We scraped rounds together. We had an effective T-side, even if it's not great. And considering how dominant we saw their defense against Liquid on this map, considering how dominant their defense was on Vertigo against Complexity, I think you got to be feeling okay. I think the one scary thing, Elimination having the game that he's having can just take over these T sides.
I don't know if you guys have been watching me, but they're whipping hard.
They're whiffing hard, he says.
They can't.
Elimination is looking like a very positive energy right now on the team. You know, talking up and down the line, smiling, fragging. It's all going well.
I mean, when Alicia's having a good game like this, you know that energy is going to be positive, and you're super happy about that. And on the T side, he loves to look for plays to make. If he's going to continue being effective, this defense is going to have a tough time dealing with it. Smoke and Donut to cross over towards Red Room. They're doing it quick. Split towards the B bomb site. They spot him all along the way. No kills yet. Grim is going to find one. Heavy God goes down. There's those whiffs Alicia's talking about in the bomb. Will progress into the B bomb site.
Icy trying to come back through Cave. He actually won that fight very cleanly against JT, so now they spring into action. Axel going to follow up kill. Inter's doing what he can, and Icy just jumps into the bomb site, so immediately Complexity lose players, but Floppy still stands a chance as he stands alone. Inter's moves into the site, Smoke and Kit.
I think he's, ooh, tough for Floppy.
Oh, and the damage done. All right. No chance. No chance in the defuse. Floppy just tags him up through the smoke.
Man, that's both pistols now lost on this map for Cloud9. Devastating when your back's against the wall facing elimination. You have to win this map, and you have to do it the hard way. All gun round victories. Felt like Icy coming in through Cave on the flank might have been enough, but what a clutch from Floppy. 1v2, drills Inters through the smoke and gives a little giggle. A giggle of relief.
Yeah, exactly. It's one step in the right direction for Complexity as they get closer and closer to survival, at least for another day here in Shanghai. For Cloud9, though, losing both pistols, as you mentioned, but also being down 8-4 going into the second half and then losing the pistol round. Yeah, it's starting to get very worrying for them. Grim dealing with this push. It's a double kill. Max 10 ready to go too, but he just kept fighting.
Surely they know JT's here, right?
Yeah,
he's swung and taking shots, okay. Icy hunts him down, so maybe a little bit too passive, but there's no real risk or danger of losing the round. You still have a player in middle. Elimination and MongolZ are going to set up a crossfire. If they want to come to this, they'll just get obliterated.
Yeah, great work, Complexity. Now with double figures is Cloud9. We're going to buy again. Their first buy here of the second half. Icy had enough to go for the ult, but he wanted the M4 and prioritize utility.
It is interesting considering how good his AWP has looked on this map. T-side, it was super effective for Icy.
Boomich with 0 utility.
Well, we saw the comeback from Cloud9, or excuse me, from Complexity on Vertigo. Does Cloud9 have that same determination in them?
Oh, Elimination still in a dangerous spot as the fire tickles his toes, but he's dragging, and he's got Grim with him. And that has been the wombo combo from Vertigo now into Ancient. And this is Cloud9 immediately having to worry about being 3v5 in their first gun round. So they're taking a risk. Boomich going aggressive through a main. It feels like the only play that is available to him, and it might just work out perfectly. He got a kill on Grim. He had an opportunity for a second, and actually gets the dink on MongolZ, but loses the fight in the end.
Yeah, but look at Elimination. She got that opening kill. I mentioned it with the game he's having, the plays that he likes to make, finds the opening pick, and now he's going to be really proactive. He knows in a 4-on-2, there's space on the map for him to work with. B-Smoke's thrown up as a fake, as a lure, and Cloud9 have bought it. Hook, line, and sinker. Icy's going to try and shift back. He's still got all that utility.
Sure, he's got a lot of that.
But it doesn't matter. He can't do anything. They might just choose to save this. They've got no kit.
So the call is being made. They cut their losses. They fall back. For Complexity, it is an 11-4 scoreline as they get ever closer to knocking Cloud9 out in Shanghai. And continuing into that final matchup to see if they can make it into the elimination stage of the major. This is a Complexity that I got very worried about after day one, Jason. They looked lost. They looked deflated. 0-2 But
I mean,
the best of threes, they've been their savior.
Well, in the context of this series, I think you don't necessarily have to worry too much any longer as a Complexity fan. But still, in the context of qualifying to the next stage, I still don't think this performance is enough to get you, to get you hyped up about winning that next game, right? Depending on who they draw, we'll have to find out at the end of the day.
When you think about the teams they lost in those opening best of ones, right? It's FlyQuest, where they got beat 13-6, and then they lost to Passion UA.
Yeah.
These are two teams that Complexity should be beating. But two teams that have kind of somehow had a story of their own.
Surprised us here, yeah.
So perhaps Complexity thinking of the storylines, Jason.
Yeah, exactly. Timeout taken from Cloud9. I don't know. I think you have to force buy here if you're Cloud9.
Well, that's exactly what they're doing. So
you're not coming back from 4-12. So you got to put everything into this round. Verge of elimination. 2 rounds away from being knocked out of the Shanghai Major. It's been a tough year for Cloud9. It's been a tough couple of years for Cloud9 when you think about the rosters they brought in. Picking up the old Gambit roster coming out of the online era, looked like one of the top 3 teams in the world.
Yeah.
Eventually started falling flat, made that high-profile roster change. Electronic and Perfecto coming in. Felt like it was going to be the team to beat, the super team to end all super teams of that time. That fell flat. And this new roster has some promising players in it, but hasn't coalesced in time to have an impact here in Shanghai. Mid-control is lost, and that is a huge pressure point that Complexity can utilize in round 16.
That he got to stop Alicia's charge forward. Boomich cuts off the top ramp play. Now the A-main push has not worked out either, and Complexity fall flat.
Yeah, I mean, what a good timing on that smoke over in Cave. Good rotation. I think that's Boomich swapping out weapons and then coming over, and that's a perfect timing to get the information. The cancel call for Complexity didn't come in quick enough, and now they are in perfect position to deal with the audible called by Complexity.
So waits around Donut. It's going to be cleared out by Floppy, no problem. But Inters has the other 2. Cloud9 with 5. The investment pays off. But the money is still good for Complexity, so another buy coming right up.
A lifeline here for Cloud9, much like the one that Elige provided Complexity on Vertigo. No heroics in this, just solid play. But at a moment where it gives him a chance to continue fighting back and coming back in Ancient.
Applying some pressure to the entrance of Jag. And Elige is getting ever closer up towards the top of the ramp. This investigation, it might pay off for Elige, but hasn't been able to catch anybody in the open. No clean fights for Elige, so he backs away.
I think he was going to look for that swing on Heavy God if he didn't spot the player just jiggling in the cave entrance. Elige feeling very motivated to make things happen for Complexity. And still not backing away. Smoke clears, Boomich wins the fight. Not the follow-up though. And now Boomich is stuck in a battle for his life, nade in hand, and JT loves that. He sees it and steps forward. No commitment off the back of these trades. Complexity happy with the 4-on-3. Grim gets away with his life.
Yeah, barely a 4-on-3, but he does get around the corner back to safety. There's 45 seconds remaining here for Complexity. Still a decent amount of time for this T side to work their finish. And they're going to go over towards A, leaving Floppy as a lurk towards the B bomb site. And Grim is about to get cleared out by Inters. Floppy was successful in his B play, but will Inters win this fight? As he goes up against Grim's Tech 9, he will lose it. And so I see they know exactly where he is. The A bomb site is empty. Plank comes in from Halzerk, and Complexity about to grab map and series point.
Yeah, I think Inters really felt like he had to make some kind of a play because he knew they were going to be wrapping around him at any moment. He knew the movement from Complexity was going to be towards Donut, and if he's out in the open or just staying passive, he's in a lot of trouble. Wanted to get the safety of A main, but Grim shuts him down. Complexity going to be up 12-5 because this AK-47 is everything to Icy. They can buy in the next round with the bonus money, and they'll have a solid buy. But Complexity have 7 chances to close out this series and eliminate Cloud9.
And with the way Complexity are playing, you would imagine they're going to take one of those opportunities. It's been a better day at the office since they switched on Vertigo. There was a moment where I was like, okay, this looks a little scary. But to come back from that point on, when they've been locked in, Jason.
I feel so bad for Boomich in that situation to an extent, because you understand the impulse to want to use that utility, but you just have to play that gun out. You know they're going to swing you after that. You know they have you in a vulnerable position, and you always feel like that piece of utility is going to help you just enough. But it was his undoing. MongolZ with the ult, finds a pick, aggressive. Another one, almost lands it blind.
Everyone's blind in mid, but eventually Axel coming up on top. And elsewhere, Icy had removed JT, so Complexity down to just 2 players and make that 1. So the mid fight looked like it was a 50-50 duel for a while, but when Axel gets 2, job's done.
Yeah, MongolZ felt like he had another kill right out in the open. He just sees him coming out of the smoke. That flashbang ruined his day and ruined the round for Complexity. Good piece of utility and a clean victory for C9 so far. Floppy left in a 1v4. Economic damage would be great, but going to be tough to find. You can almost even, in some sense, if you're Floppy, just forget about the bomb for the moment. Go for kills.
Well, he's got the bomb. And an AWP. So just keep that for MongolZ. See if you can get away. It's going to be a long old save here for Floppy.
Yeah, and it should be fine. There should be no reason Cloud9 go for any kind of a hunt with the money they have in the bank. So a good weapon to scrape away. However, their own buy around this op, probably not going to be too solid. I imagine if you're Complexity, you take a timeout after this one and just talk things over. Still plenty of rounds to play with. 6 more chances to close it out. You want to talk about this buy, discuss the philosophy you want to use to close out this map and series. And tell the boys everything's good. We're doing everything right. We're going to be fine.
Counter-terrorists win.
For MongolZ, he kind of was forced into a situation where he had to fight that. His teammate's spacing was just a little off, so Axel is able to compose himself and make sure that he gets both kills in mid. But I think the problem for Complexity right now is just trying to figure out how do we disperse the wealth across the team. There isn't a whole lot of it, so they're figuring it out. And they found a well-balanced purchase. So Grim has a MAC-10, Tech 9 here for Floppy, but an AK in the hands of Elimination and off in MongolZ. At least you got 2 of your heaviest hitters with their choice weapons in hand. Oh, great nade onto the boost.
Yeah, beautiful nade onto the boost. MongolZ's like, never mind, I don't want it anymore. Want nothing to do with that boost. Cloud9 get mid control, Complexity don't attack into it. They've taken tons of damage on MongolZ and Floppy from that nade. Elimination lurking in middle with no play to make for the moment. And not really any utility for Complexity. Their last smoke is just thrown towards Red Room by Elimination. That's not going to do anything to move this defense. And it feels like Complexity is really hoping for a mistake.
The boost of MongolZ up on top. He's going for it again. This time a little bit later into the round. The Complexity with 45 seconds left and very limited utility. I'm hoping that they can catch a Cloud9 player and win a fight here, but it's not happening. It's a passive setup here for Cloud9. They're allowing Complexity to come to them. And without a reliable execute, it does not feel like Complexity have great chances of getting into this B bomb site alive. This could be a massacre. Cloud9 at the ready. Crosshairs put in place. Grim just jumped across first. They all line up. Without the util, Complexity will not break through, and Elimination is stuck at elbow, having to save his AK-47. Another round for Cloud9. Money gone for Complexity.
This is exactly what Cloud9 would want. A round like this where it's nice and clean and easy. You build up some money behind you, have the confidence of another buy, being able to replenish whatever you need. Complexity with that kind of a buy without a whole lot of utility, not able to do much on the map. There was no real plan there outside of letting MongolZ up on the boost and hope he gets you a pick. Cloud9 just played the entire round completely passive. And Complexity have to be careful not to give up too many rounds like that. You have still a lot to play with, 5 more.
For one, Alicia's AK traded out instantly. And a last-ditch effort to try and perhaps get into the A-bomb site. Can be set up for Complexity for a ball plant, but it's not going to happen for him. IC should be guaranteed this one. Actually, under his scope. Somehow they actually slipped through. The AK and Donut ready to stop him. Inter certainly has stopping power with his rifle. MongolZ with the AK, taking a lot of damage on board.
Yeah, nice P250. Quick dink.
Yeah, worked really well.
And they just want kills, don't they? Just not being offered anything. AK-47's going to have to back off. So Cloud9's going to get up to 8. 4 more chances. Complexity. Next round's a bye. And they're really looking for this finishing move.
The rough thing, an AK save here is huge because if you look at the amount of money that Elish has, he's only got $300 in the bank because he saved his AK in a previous round. So if you can get that AK back into his hands, that's perfect. You don't have to.
Yeah, but if MongolZ's not going to get any bonus money, so if he passes it over, then he's going to be the one struggling on pistols. And Complexity have to be really careful about the kind of rounds they're giving Cloud9. It almost feels like that previous force buy around the AWP might have been an attempt at knocking Cloud9 out a little bit too early, because now you have all these kind of staggered, awkward buys. And yet to have like a really strong one to just try and close things out. If you're Cloud9, you're loving it.
Yeah, it's another situation where you just don't have all that much to play with.
And surely you're giving Elimination AK-47.
Yeah, with the way he's playing, you've got to give it to him.
Please, somebody. He's going to go.
Yeah, he threw it. So MongolZ's going to get a Galil.
Shout out to MongolZ.
He held on to it, he sacrificed his own money, and he gave Elish the AK.
All right, first time out for Complexity. It's been easy going, so TC has plenty of chances to help his boys close out Ancient, close out the series, eliminate Cloud9, have them move on to the 2-2 match for qualification. 4 rounds to play with. Alicia's been able to find that opening kill in middle, so has MongolZ, but they haven't really been able to find it in a way that gives them control of mid after the fact. Axile's done a good job of his teammate goes down, of stepping up and finding multi-kills. Inters, when called upon, has delivered over in Donut. And Boomich trying to get the boys fired up for a comeback. Exactly what Complexity did to them on Vertigo. Deep double door smoke gonna come in late. They wanted to push, but the counter Molotov from Floppy holds them at bay. But they still want to use this smoke. They still feel like they have the timing. Floppy going to turn the corner.
It's a little awkward because both players flash, but Floppy comes out on top of it and damage done as well to Boomich, who's left on 6 HP.
Oh, that couldn't have gone worse for Cloud9. That's the exact worst way that could have happened. Even though he's blind, Floppy had turned the corner and seen what's coming. Cloud9 on the back foot and scrambling, bringing an extra player over to this B bomb site. They sense that Complexity want to exploit the weakness after that kill. And they're not wrong. And these last few rounds, though, Alicia's been put in lurking positions, not playmaking positions. And Icy's off. Oh, no.
It's a missed shot, a missed opportunity. And perhaps for Cloud9, that could start to spell their end. This Complexity state, a player up, a kill through the smoke. MongolZ can drop Inters, and another missed shot from Icy. This
it's falling apart.
will be his reckoning. It is now Exile left alone in a clutch that he will not win, that he cannot win. And for Complexity, they will stay alive here, at least for another day. With losses to Liquid, Pain, and now Complexity, the Americas teams prove too much to handle, and Cloud9 are eliminated from the major here in Shanghai.
Oh, that's a brutal way for it to close. Complexity, just second half of Vertigo on, had their number entirely. Lovely little series with the comeback, and then just a clean